The surveying equipment's really nice because there's a surveying tripod with the, what would you call it, the reflector, the mirror thing, and the data collector, and so it's really cool to see that because then you drive by crash sites or road work and stuff, and you see those, and you're like, oh, I know what they're doing. And then we have a materials tester or a bridge breaker. That's really cool to use because you can use it for multiple different things to test materials. There's a couple of different things. We test bridge where there's requirements you have to meet and stuff, and like a weight limit. There's a couple of different things. We test bridge where there's requirements you have to meet and stuff, and like a weight limit. And then you stick those underneath and you push down and see which bridge is the strongest. There's a couple of different things. We test bridge where there's requirements you have to meet and stuff, and like a weight limit. And then you stick those underneath and you push down and see which bridge is the strongest. And so it's really cool to see how the bridges break and where the stress points are. We go on a lot of trips to engineering luncheons, surveying luncheons. We go to Silver Creek Falls a couple times a year, depending on what class you're in. So it's really cool to get outside the school environment and see it being applied into the real world. You talk to people who are actually doing what we're doing in the classroom for a living, and so you get to see what they're doing compared to what we're doing and see how much they're making and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. You talk to people who are actually doing what we're doing in the classroom for a living, and so you get to see what they're doing compared to what we're doing and see how much they're making and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool, and basically seeing how much of a demand there is for what we're doing in the classroom. Probably the biggest thing that you learn in here is teamwork and problem solving. So regardless of what you do, if you stick with engineering or not, you need teamwork and problem solving skills in life. And so that's probably the biggest thing we learn. But also just knowing the material if you go off to college or try to work, the software, knowing that stuff is going to be very helpful. Eventually I want to get my master's degree in civil engineering, and I would really want to do basically design bridges. That's really what I'm looking at. Yeah, if you're interested in it, take the class because you won't regret it, because you learn stuff, just life skills, and also take lots of math and science skills if you're really serious about engineering. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work.
Civil engineering is basically more of the bridges and the designing of products and making things cheap but sturdy enough for it to last for a really long time. When I came here, I saw a girl working on a house and I thought it was really cool, and so I found out where it came from, and it was starting off in the CAD program, working my way up to what would be architecture. And so I did that and then eventually moved on to engineering and liked it way better. You start off in CAD 1 and it's mainly 2D work and figuring out how the software works itself, and then you move into creating 3D models and making more intricate things. Well, doing the stick house as an example, every person creates a side of the wall and it all comes together, and everything has to be, you have to collaborate with your team to make sure that all the sides line up evenly, so that way it all fits together to create the house. Oh man, my very first actual project was probably the model house. In the beginning of the engineering program, you get to create a marble car, and it has to go 10 feet by itself, stop, and then shoot a marble 10 feet into a trash can. In the beginning of the engineering program, you get to create a marble car, and it has to go 10 feet by itself, stop, and then shoot a marble 10 feet into a trash can. And you work with a team of 2, and you create that, and then you get to watch it happen. For the bridge building, you get to design the side of the bridge on the computer, and then you print it off as it is to scale, and then you get to lay down wood pieces and use the design that you created on the computer and create it in real life. The environment is awesome. You get to work around 30 or so students, and starting out, you know, you're probably kind of nervous, but eventually you become friends with these people because you're with them all 4 years of your high school life if you stick with the program. The environment is awesome. You get to work around 30 or so students, and starting out, you know, you're probably kind of nervous, but eventually you become friends with these people because you're with them all 4 years of your high school life if you stick with the program, and you create really good friendships with the students and the teacher. I go to Silver Falls every year, and then engineering gets to survey where the houses are placed exactly in the angle of where they are. So going up to Silver Falls and being outside is a really cool thing, and once you start in CAD 1 and you progress, you eventually look at life a lot differently and the buildings a lot differently because you think structurally how things are and how they're better for, I mean, going over bridges, you get to look at the truss systems that they have underneath them. So you get to really see what you're doing here, what you'll eventually get to be doing in a profession. I'm going to be going to a community college for a year and then hopefully be moving down to Klamath Falls and going to OIT and starting in the engineering program. I'm stuck between civil engineering and mechanical engineering because they're both really great programs. So hopefully I'll be an engineer in the future, and being a woman in the engineering program is pretty awesome. So just stick with the program. I promise you're going to love it. I'm ready to work.
Civil engineering is more like, it's basically teamwork, and like, to explain it simply, it's like bridge building and how the truss system works, how the force on the bridge, and how to make it as cheap and simple as possible, but safe at the same time. I was in 8th grade and I was trying to decide what classes to take, and one of my friends suggested the CAD program, which is the basic computer-aided drafting stuff we do. And I've always loved working with computers, so I just decided to take this class and I really loved it. So, well, it's more hands-on work instead of like, so you get to like actually experience the working with these technology stuff, like building stuff, which is I think is really important in any career you do. Well, the intro is CAD 1, which is it's almost all computer work. It's 2D stuff. It's really simple, but you get to learn a lot. We get into groups and we each build a side of the house, so you get to learn teamwork. But also it's individual work because you're building your own side of the house. Well, we have the surveying total station where you get to measure the distance of certain stuff. You see those a lot on the road when you go by. You see people, surveyors working on with that, so it's really cool to see that you're doing that at school, what these real surveyors are doing in the real life. Yeah, we have a materials tester where we have a not drill, but a metal thing that comes down, and we place like a wood piece to test the strength of it. It measures the PSI, which is the pounds per square inch, and we see how much it can hold before it breaks. We use that for the bridge testing. I think this program is a lot of fun, and I think you really should get into it. Yeah. My favorite project was building the catapult. You get with a partner and you build a big catapult. It's about 5 feet tall, the one we made, and you shoot it like a tennis ball and see how far it can go. When you don't succeed, you still learn a lot. You check what you did wrong. In engineering, you make a lot of mistakes, so that's a big thing. So you got to like observe what you made, why you made that mistake, and fix it and make sure you don't do it again. One of the field trips you go into is the engineering luncheon, where you get to go have lunch with real engineers, get to talk to them about their experience, like how much they made and how much they enjoyed their job. Well, I plan to attend Portland State University and possibly major in civil engineering next year. Well, right now we're working on the bridge building project, so I feel like I've got a head start compared to other people. It's a lot of computer work, so if you love to work with computers, which I know a lot of people do, you should definitely try this class out. I'm ready to work.